Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
All right, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All right, on this episode of Cyrus Says, we meet Naveen Richard. Find out his descent into comedy, why he was forced against his will, how he was caned, the pain, the physical punishment, the brutality of his life. And now, the happy grin he brings to your face as Naveen Richard, comedian. But behind that, what a story.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
All right, my family chauffeur's got dengue. Things are not looking good. He's the funniest guy in our family. But sadly, we don't know what's going to happen to him. But so I'm driving a lot myself last 2-3 weeks. And I got to tell you one thing I've noticed. And that is there's a lot of litter in this city which is not going to ever change. Why don't we have a theory or why don't we have a process where we put all the litter on one side of the road? You know, like only the left side of the road has litter. So that people continue to litter, but at least we have a certain system and process. We have one side which is clean, one side which is dirty. This is my theory which I want to give out there and I want people to think about this. Let's litter. Let's not litter. Let's litter, but let's litter just one side. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus Says.
Okay, I'm with Naveen Richard. That's Richard, not Richards.
Nope.
Just for the record.
Good.
In our country, singular plural is a huge issue, man.
I like it that you know what I don't like.
I just read it.
All right. Oh, it says not Richards specifically.
No. I'm a big Viv Richards fan, so it's a very important thing for me. Make sure there's you cannot be anywhere near the king. Although you must be a king in your own world, which is comedy, which is why we brought you here. Naveen.
Beautiful, yes.
Part of the new group that's coming and stealing people away from us, old people. Stop doing that. Mm-hmm. But what I want to ask you first is we discussed litter here on the show. Yeah. And you said you do a litter bit as well, so go ahead.
Well, it's not a bit I've done yet, but here's tell me if this is littering, is if, let's say you have a little piece of wrapper in your hand and you can't find a dustbin. You know, usually when you're around people, there's pressure to not litter in front of them. Ideally, you should never litter, but when you're around people, you definitely don't litter. Now, let's say you're not around anyone, there's no dustbin anywhere because the government's
It's like scratching your balls.
Yeah.
When you're alone or when you're married in front of everybody, but that's the same thing as being alone. Exactly. But when you're alone, you
Now, what are you going to do with it? If it's littering if you throw it. Is it littering if you place it gently on the ground?
Good point. I think it's still a less violent version of littering. It's still littering for me. Yeah. See, my theory is that we are incapable as Indians of not littering. So I'm just trying to find an area where we can litter so it's like a general dustbin.
Exactly.
So half the country instead of the whole country. That's all I'm trying to do.
Like if you keep your, let's say, a plastic cup next to a lamp post and you know the sweeping lady is going to come there the next day and be like, oh, how sweet, he kept it right there where I can see it.
It's a bit sexist if we call her a lady. Could it not be a sweeping man?
Indeed it can.
Why not a reverse sweeping man as we move into the 20th century?
Yeah.
Naveen, I'm so sorry. Let's not go off target. Let's talk about you. This is why you're here.
This is why I'm here.
Before we get into your observations, Naveen Richard, who are you and where were you born? What happened? Take us back to the suckling years. That's suckling.
Oh, nasty. Well, I was born in somewhere in Kerala, but I grew up in Coimbatore.
That's mean.
What?
Somewhere in Kerala. Where?
Somewhere. Like it matters. Like
Come on, I want to know everything about you in like 15 minutes.
In Vijaya Hospital.
In Vijaya Hospital?
Is that too specific?
No, it's very good. I want details. People are Googling. People listening are going, Vijaya Hospital, Vijaya Hospital. They know exactly where it is now.
We don't know which city.
Is it Vijaya or Vijaya?
Is
it with an A or without an A?
You know, I'm not sure.
What the hell?
I'm not sure.
Who can't blame you? You were like 3 days old when you left.
Exactly. Well,
so
it's
somewhere hospital where? North Kerala, South Kerala?
Oh, that's vague. North or South. That's you trying to pretend to know what Kerala is all about.
Pretend to show that I have great interest in the state.
North or South? No, it's in somewhere in Cochin.
I'm told by my Malayali friends there's a big divide. That's why.
Clearly I have not spent enough.
Malayali enough.
Not enough. Yeah. I'm half Tamil as well. Because I grew up in Coimbatore, you know Coimbatore?
Of course. What do you think I am? I've been felicitated 4 times there.
You did?
4 times! And not at Vijay Hospital.
Oh man. Well, I grew up there.
Coimbatore is TN, so we'll...
That's right.
So what the hell? Vijay Hospital was in Kerala.
I was born there.
You skipped the whole Kaveri water issue and reached TN.
I got there as soon as I could, with all the water bottles I could carry.
So Coimbatore was home?
I grew up till 8th standard. Then I went to a boarding school in Ooty.
Which one?
this place called St. George's, called Laidlaw Memorial. That's the one that no one's ever heard of, but it's just as old as the other one.
Is it true?
No, see, like, you know, all
today Vijay Hospital, thanks to you, is on the map. Everybody's talking about Vijay. I want to have my baby in Vijay Hospital. All over the world, people are saying that.
I'll be born with curly hair and maybe some comedy.
Everybody's born with curly hair.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the head, but everybody's born with curly hair.
That is true, man. That is true.
Off you go. So you were born there. You were in Coimbatore till the 8th standard. Then went to Ooty. You're quite a man of the world, in a sense. All over the south.
Quite. Yeah. Mostly in the south. And then I went to Bangalore to study law. And I
that
law.
Fancy law college?
No, not the fancy
one. Oh.
Yeah, see, well, it's...
Once again, in one of those nondescript institutions.
Well, no, you would have heard of it.
What a life, Naveen!
I'm sorry.
Vijay Hospital, nobody's heard of.
I didn't try hard enough to be born in a
nobody's heard
good
of.
hospital.
King George is something nobody's heard of in Ooty. And Ooty's got all these famous boarding schools. And then you go to Bangalore.
Which one do you know? You know Lawrence, right?
Rishi Valley, isn't it there?
That's completely off.
Where is it?
See, everyone has heard of this Lawrence or Lovedale, something like that.
Yeah.
Good Shepherds. Ours is like a 100-year-old school. But it's only got like 400 students, so it's very,
Who are still
everybody.
studying from 100 years ago.
Yeah, exactly, they're all dead. The teachers are all mummies.
Really?
No. And
I didn't graduate, but I had a lot of fun.
And then
you're in Bangalore, and now you're doing law.
Yeah, I studied law. I just didn't do anything with it. I'm a lawyer by studies.
I know a lot of people in the cabinet like that. Don't worry.
Right.
Let's get back to your life as a comedian.
Yeah.
So, growing up, Naveen Richard, what was he like?
At what age are we looking at?
Oh, your Malayali brain is ticking. You want
said growing up.
A mathematical point here?
Are we looking at my boring years or my interesting years? It depends on how you look at it.
Take your time. Start from Vijay Hospital and take us to the whole process.
Well, I think growing up, people tended to call me Mr. Bean, because probably I grew up watching. Not because, not by mistake. I was intentionally.
Rowan Atkinson was your hero.
Yeah, he was my hero.
By the way, I'm a huge fan of Rowan Atkinson.
I get it.
Of course, Rowan Atkinson. Have you seen Blackadder?
Yeah. Oh, man.
It's a masterpiece.
It's beautiful.
Oh, my God.
Because all of us just know him as Mr. Bean. I'm sure he gets really irritated.
Mr. Bean's the worst thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
Worst thing.
It's his sellout thing.
Oh, come on.
Thin Blue Line. I was trying to make someone watch it on YouTube the other day.
Show.
And a bunch of comedians as well. And everyone just fell asleep. I'm like, you guys don't see this.
They aren't comedians. They're monkeys.
Yeah, that's the kind of sitcom I don't mind watching. Not the kind of crap sitcoms they put on today.
Blackadder's on another level, man. Oh,
it's
God, I can tell you scene after scene that I love.
Yeah.
You remember the thing where they can't say Macbeth because in the theater and they do that one potato, two potato.
Oh, man.
And what about our friend Hugh Laurie?
Yeah, Hugh Laurie.
He's hilarious.
Oh, man. Fry and Laurie is, I think, the best sketch show ever.
Yeah, Hugh and Fry.
Fry and Laurie.
Hugh and Fry, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Hugh, Laurie,
and Fry is the takeoff. That's the title on the two of them. Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
Here, Laurie is just another truck. Ashok Leyland, you see him on the highway. Nothing like that. Oh, I love him. And now he's a big star. Hugh Laurie's a big star because of that stupid house show. Which my kids love and my wife loves. I'm like, this is Hugh Laurie, the comedian.
They don't get it, right?
That's the stupid bad American accent. That's on him.
Yeah.
Hugh and Cry.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's mad, man. And
so we're bonding here, brother. We're bonding here. Good.
It's exactly the good old fashioned
stuff. Now, Vijay Hospital is a distant memory for both of us.
It's gone.
Because you're a Blackadder fan.
What's Vijay Hospital when you have Rowan Atkinson?
Now, if you like the Beatles and dogs, we're in.
We're in, man. We're already in.
We're lovers. We're practically lovers then.
Okay, you put on your pants already.
I don't wear pants. Don't tell them that. Make me feel bad. I had my own hospital issues.
Oh, man.
All right. So getting back, so you had all these influences and they call you Mr. Bean because you love for Rowan Atkinson.
I loved him and I was rather popular among my family and friends for the faces.
You do a takeoff on one of his characters, sketch characters?
Nowadays, no, man, well, I try to...
When you were young, I'm saying. I'm sure now you do your
I used to just make faces and it was very inappropriate. People, it stopped being cute and I just started looking like a special needs child.
Because when you're 17, when you do that, it's not just special needs, women get scared.
Exactly.
You can't say, hello, Anjali, I'm Naveen, and then, purse your lips and put your finger in your nose.
Exactly. It's not cute anymore. Yeah. Then I had to vent that into theatre and stuff like that. So
where is this? In Bangalore?
No, this was in Coimbatore. Then, luckily, that boarding school, if I grew up in Coimbatore, I left Coimbatore in 8th standard. Luckily, I left. Because the thing is, here's an interesting story. I got fat, okay? From the 4th to the 8th standard, I started getting really fat. My dad was ashamed of me. He's like, look at you.
That's mean.
Look at you. I think I need to buy you a bra. And he fat-shamed me into going to boarding school.
Did he buy you the bra?
No, well, luckily he didn't.
Why can't he just use one of the female relatives?
He wasn't that supportive, if you know what I mean. And he sent me off to boarding school where, they were doing theatre and like singing and stuff like that. So I got to vent it out there.
Didn't sound very heterosexual, the way you put it. But those were your...
Singing,
coming with a bra in your hand, I'm saying...
Costumes.
Welcome to boarding school.
Yeah.
My dad gave me this.
Yeah, that's right. It was a gift.
Were you that fat?
I wasn't even that fat, dude. I was just chubby.
So what was your dad picking on you? Or you're just doing this for comedy?
Honestly though, I was lazy. Huh?
Was there some angst with the father?
No.
I'm going to find more. I'm like the guy on that channel now.
There were no daddy issues.
Yeah.
He was just like, you turned into fat, lazy slob, and he was completely right. All I did was watch TV, which contributed to the comedy, whatever now.
So what was your dad? What would he do? What was his line of work?
He was
Bra
in
salesman?
textile,
Textile.
clothes,
Yeah,
bra salesman possibly, and never
Who
got
knows?
into
Part
that.
of the textile industry, no doubt about that.
Definitely, No, the thing is, I'll tell you why he was, because till third standard, I had like abs, man. I was the fastest
You're
runner
7.
in class. Yeah, I
Who cares about
had
your
abs.
freaking abs when you're
I had
7?
like a V shape.
Yeah, but you're 7.
If I didn't, my aunt didn't learn how to make pizzas that one summer,
So
I would have been ripped right
You were
now.
an athlete. Let's understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I was
you
an
were
athlete. I was an
right?
athlete and a gymnast. till I
All
got
that
fat.
till the age of 7.
Yeah.
And then you became a fat slob.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with your aunt's pizzas.
Yeah, it all went downhill, but luckily it went downhill because if you don't go down, you don't come back up again. It's a comeback kid.
Now, comedian doing science doesn't work on this show, man. Don't ever do that
Trying to
again.
sound inspirational,
Yeah.
that's all.
So 7 to 14 was the fat years, is it?
7 to 14, yeah.
My son himself has gone through this similar phase of feeling a little overweight, and then he starved himself and has become really thin now.
Oh, okay.
Literally. And now he's gone berserk and he'll just Google all food, and he's just very careful. It's like a female model from the 80s.
Oh.
So, did you go through all that?
No, so I went to this boarding school where you had to run cross country. This about 7 kilometers every day.
To race the school?
No, you had to run, right? Like 4 o'clock studies would end, and then they make it run. And the thing is, technically it should seem like there should be an equal amount of uphill and downhill, but it seemed like 70% of it is uphill, like one of those stairs that just keep going up all over.
But this is cross country, as in outside the school?
Outside the school, you have to run through the villages and through the hills, and like routes where people who trek, you have to just run. And if you come late, then they will cane you the next day, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You were being caned in the 90s? I thought caning and all was banned?
Late 90s. No, I mean, it got banned when I...
Unless it was by mutual pleasure, which is different.
No. It was completely natural to get caned. Not even by the teachers, by just like a guy 3 years older than
Passing
you.
by. Like, hi, I'm Mahesh, cane.
Almost. And you just have to take it
Were
like
you
a man.
a lot?
Not too much. So I got myself into the chess club because that's a way to bunk cross country. Till they realized I got beaten by a third standard kid at chess as well. So then I get back to cross country.
Was the kid fat?
No.
Damn it.
She was just a small third standard kid.
Speaking on all levels now, yeah.
I've got my ass kicked not only for coming late, but in chess, metaphorically, and then back to getting my ass kicked.
So you got caned all over is what you're trying to tell us.
All over, man.
But I want to go through the whole caning process for those who think that, school is a joke. Yeah. School in India is terrible and very difficult, and you suffer a lot, as you did.
Yeah.
Tell us about what happens. Do you have to take off your pants, for example?
No, you don't have to take off your pants. So then
it's optional.
It's technically, the best thing to do is wear 2 underwears, put your wallet.
But you're getting caned.
Yeah,
I thought you just get caught and then they cane you.
No. So
they give you 5 days.
The principal will call out your name in chapel and say this person came late. Okay. Now then your house prefect would call you out in line in the evening.
Okay.
So the whole day you're just living like, oh, I'm going to get caned in the evening. Great. And your whole day is ruined as soon as the day starts, right? And you can't concentrate on your studies. You're just like, I'm getting caned by an asshole senior. Sorry, I can't curse.
No, you can.
And
that's his first name. What do we care?
So then you run cross country, which you come late again. So you're not getting caned the next day.
On the same day.
And you're getting caned for the previous day, by the way, but you run cross country, and now your legs hurt, and then you put on like 2 underwears, you put your wallet there, and
they can't see the wallet bulging.
They can't. Well, see, the first day he got it right, and I'm like, great, I figured it out. And of course, he figured out. Then he just started whacking me right above my wallet, and
but they cane you more than once.
Yeah. Oh, here's another thing. They let you pick what stick you want. Sometimes the guy will bring his own stick. Otherwise,
it's not like buying a tie. What the hell is happening in this school? No. St. George has to be shut down.
No, don't do that. Though.
Don't shut it down. Just take the canes away. Yeah.
No, it stopped now.
So
eventually.
How big are the sticks? Sorry to use that phrase, but
so he'll say go into the woods, pick out whatever stick you want.
Find a stick.
Yeah, go find your own
stick. What's a rural school? They didn't even have a stick.
He'll bring his own stick if you like, but then it's a little more sadistic. It's more sadistic when you can find your own stick, right?
Yeah.
So here's the difference. You take a big fat stick. The thing is, the pain comes much later. He hits you.
So you correlate fat stick to less pain.
I tell you what, if you take a thin stick, it stings immediately. As soon as there's contact with your butt, it stings, and you know where the pain comes, right? A fat stick, he hits you, and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad.
And then
you
later
go back,
on,
stand in line
when you're sitting down and all.
Exactly, then it pains the rest of the day.
We used to get caned with a ruler. And it was the side of the ruler. But it wasn't that bad. It just stung for a few minutes.
Oh, this is just the guy, like, depending on how sadistic your prefect is, you get caned.
And how many canes would they give you? How many times would you get hit?
Oh, yeah, correct. I think it was It wasn't too bad. It was like 3 or 5 or something. But, these are like strong athletic
3 or
guys.
5?
3 to 5.
And athletic guys who have a lot of frustration also.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't find girls, so they decide, what the hell, let's cane this guy.
Yeah.
Take it all out.
That was it. I mean, I'll tell you what though.
Did you cry ever?
Did I cry?
Did you tell
no,
jokes in between the caning? What would you do?
No, obviously the cool thing to do is just smile off my legs. It's no big deal, but everyone can see the pain in your eyes. So.
And the whole school watches you get caned?
Yeah, the whole school watches you
Oops,
get
that's
caned.
terrible.
It's, you get used to it. It was only for the first year, only in my 9th standard, which is old enough, you think you stop getting caned.
Yeah.
Only 11th standard do you really stop getting caned. But about 3 years later though, they stopped the whole caning thing.
Your bad luck. So if you were born 3
Officially.
years later, you would have missed the whole thing.
Yeah, but I'd like to think it toughened me up, man.
So now you can handle comedy because you were caned in St. George.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the outskirts of Ooty.
Yeah.
Because you ran.
My friends had it worse. They were there since they were in the first standard. So they had it way worse than I did,
They were caned from the first standard upwards.
Yeah. If you reach late for the lineup, you get caned. Then, you're late for breakfast, you can get caned. You can get caned for several reasons. You can take your pick. I know you're looking at me like...
school was by choice?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Listen, man, my whole
Where are you going
group...
to keep your kids? I just want to know. Because they must have
Everybody
ranks.
from this comedy group that I work with is from that school.
Let's talk about the comedy group for a second.
Yeah.
The living room, is it? No, the living room is where you've been featured.
That's Kenny's show on Comedy
Boxer
Central.
Shorts.
Yeah, them boxer shorts is my group.
And this is Bangalore.
We were in Bangalore. We just moved here a few weeks ago.
All right, because of the traffic. I was in Bangalore last week doing a really terrible show that I do.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, we are performing near the Phoenix Mall in Whitefields.
Yeah.
I left a hotel which is 1 kilometer away
Yeah.
at 5 in the evening. I reached the theatre at 6:05 on a Saturday.
Was it Jagrati?
Yeah. Oh, right, it was. Sorry, I cut my nose with my fingernail, which is very long.
Oh, shucks.
Because I wasn't caned as a child, so I do all these stupid things.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah,
What's
that
wrong
part
with
of
Bangalore
town
with traffic?
is...
Just to digress for a second.
That part of town, especially Whitefield that you're talking about,
It's
gets
evil.
the worst of it.
Evil.
Yeah, you just don't... luckily in our profession, you can choose when to leave the house, so I like to use that to my advantage and not leave between
the
those
night before.
times.
But you know what I do is that we went on stage and talked about the traffic thing because of the whole experience, and the kind of feedback I got from the audience was phenomenal. I mean, they hate the traffic. It's a huge issue.
It's
I
a
think 50% of
classic.
the conversation is traffic now in Bangalore.
Yeah, you have to start off with a traffic joke. It's so... I mean, you
Yeah.
think it's old or a traffic
It's
joke,
not.
but everyone's got a good
It's
traffic
like
joke.
victims of the Holocaust are sitting there and living it. They're like, how dare you?
Oh, yeah, man.
So when you feel that pain, they were very happy.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
welcome to Bangalore. So much for number one progressive city of India.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
long gone.
That's true, man.
All right. Let's talk about Naveen Richard, the career of the comedian.
Career, yes.
And so you're now, we'll move on from St. George's School, we'll move to college in Bangalore.
Okay.
You're known to be the jokester, the funster, the prankster, what?
Well, I don't know, man. People who meet me think I'm usually depressed, or they're like, why are you concentrating so hard on nothing?
I think that if they were
I don't
caned
know.
as much as you were caned,
They-
just because you ran the wrong way.
Yeah. I don't know. No, man, I think so. I was generally all the time funny, I think, till a certain, maybe like college. So even in class, I'd be goofing around because I had nowhere else. Once I started doing comedy in the evenings, then I was fine just being like...
For you, time
rather
is a very
boring.
important thing. Comedy can only be done in the evenings.
I mean, it depends on who I'm around, I'm not like, I enter a room and I'm funny.
All I'm trying to say is in college, even in St. George's, were you the funny guy? If I met your friends today and I'd say, you remember Naveen?
Yeah,
the funny guy.
They probably will say that. That's all I had. They'd either be
You're
like,
hoping they'd say that because you can't say anything
that's
else.
all they had. They'd be like, Naveen, oh yeah, he likes cars and he's funny. That's the
And he had
two
abs
things.
when he was 7. And he got caned a lot and his dad bought him a bra. See, I can
That's
talk a lot
right.
about you. If you died tomorrow, I would give a big speech.
Yeah, man,
I
it's,
do well.
it's 4 great points.
So what is this car thing?
Well, I grew up wanting to be an automobile journalist because, they don't tell you can make a career out of comedy in India.
Yeah.
So I thought, what, maybe I'll...
Cars can be funny too. I mean, just look at the kind of stuff that's out there.
Yeah, exactly. You got like cars...
But are you a
shaped
car
like,
freak?
Yeah, very much. I mean, if this wasn't this... My brother works for a car magazine.
Autocar?
For Overdrive.
Overdrive. Autocar's bigger. Anyway.
Yeah, that is true. I keep trying to buy my brother's magazine. I just can't find it.
Yeah, there you go.
And but I'm like, no, if it wasn't for this, I'd just happily jump into that. Every once in a while, I think, should I quit and just drive cars?
So if you had all the money in the world,
Yeah.
what car would you buy?
It's a tough one. I'd probably buy an Aston Martin, I think. An Aston Martin.
James Bond.
Vanquish or something, yeah. Yeah.
And if you had very little money, what would you buy?
Well, at the moment I have a Contessa, and
you have a Contessa?
Yeah, I have a Contessa.
That's an antique now. You're
Yeah.
worth millions.
Not so
Nobody's
much.
seen a Contessa since the 50s.
That's
It's
true.
superb.
Yeah, so it's in Kerala at the moment. I'm going to drive it down here to Bombay soon. And it's all like painted up real nice and the seats are all, it's very, They call it the muscle car, but it really
I'll tell
doesn't
you one
have much
thing.
muscle.
I don't know if it's good or bad, but you'll stand out in the Contessa. Naveen
for
Richard,
sure.
people will say, there goes Naveen Richard, comedian.
That's true.
The Contessa
That's true.
will turn faces. I don't think there's another one on the Mumbai roads.
I don't think so. I don't see any here. Bangalore has a bit more of a car
They may have
culture
3
than-
in Bangalore, but because of traffic, you'll get to see them because they don't move. But
That's
here
true.
in Mumbai, we are almost as bad. There's none left. They're all gone. They're extinct.
That's true, man.
Sad
It
to
should
say.
stand out, yeah.
All right, before we take a break, Naveen, let's quickly get into the comedy things. How did you land up as a comedian then? You were studying law.
I auditioned for a play. It was for 5 Point Someone, the infamous 5 Point Someone.
Of course.
Yeah.
William Shakespeare Bhagat.
That's right.
Who hasn't read those 37 plays? Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah.
And I auditioned for the play and I got the part. So I was touring India doing this and I was selling out everywhere because everybody is too lazy to read a lazily written book.
Yeah.
So they came and watched the play. And then they were like also trying to start to do stand-up comedy. It was just taking off. So they said, let's do auditions for stand-up.
Who's they?
Oh, this group called Avam from Chennai.
Okay.
Avam is a theatre, one of the older, they're like 10 years old. And they do a lot of these kind of plays. So now they're into stand-up and I auditioned for stand-up. Turns out, okay, I can write.
So you would do stand-up for this group in gigs they got for you?
Yeah, gigs they got. Because I never even started doing open mics like I was supposed to, man. That's how you start doing stand-up. You do open mics for 2 years, suck really bad, then you get a show.
Absolutely.
My
you have
first
to suffer.
show was like 300 people.
No, your first show was a caning with 300 people.
That's true, yeah.
That was funny for them.
Exactly. They were laughing at
Back
least.
to your real first show. What was that?
It was something in Bangalore, man. I mean, I was just rehearsing in front of of 3 guys who would give me notes after I wrote a bit. That's how I started comedy stand-up. And then I would just go out and perform to like 300 people to a pub. I didn't know how to handle hecklers
Siddhi
and
Ramaya
stuff.
was one, and who were the other two?
They were just people who, they didn't know what stand-up was back then, 4 years ago. People who just come in to watch whatever you put out in front of them. And then after 2 years of doing these kind of shows, then I started doing open mics. And I'm like, oh, this is how
So
you
were
write a
you
joke.
popular in Bangalore?
Am I popular in Bangalore
No, were
now?
you then? When you started, what was
Yeah.
it like? Did people take to it?
Stand-up was kind of, man. People, it was just growing.
Like what would
None
be a
of us
house?
were
How many
really
people would come?
to a house. Oh, in a house. in the house. What would be the house
The
full?
house, how many people? 20%, 40%?
Oh, yeah, no. These guys were good at marketing, so they were always selling out their
Oh,
shows.
so you're getting full houses?
Yeah, they were
That's
selling
all-
out. Not because we were famous, just because it
But
was
that
a
means
show.
it's popular. People are coming to watch you.
The brand was famous, yeah. The group was famous.
Okay.
So
And
they
were
were
you
just
getting
coming.
good feedback initially?
Yeah, man. I mean, now that in hindsight, I'm like...
That was
some
the
of my
best years.
I think some of my best jokes were written then, but some of my worst. I mean, like, I still do some of the jokes I
Come on,
wrote 4
give
years
us
ago.
one gag as we go into the break. One bit or one part of a routine that you remember.
All right.
What is the earliest, oldest, good or bad?
My
Whatever
oldest?
you remember.
Probably...
From the early days.
Well, I mean, people ask me, why I took up law. I'm a comedian now. I took up law. And they ask me, do you want to do corporate law? You want to do litigation, things like that? Well, the truth is, growing up, I've just always wanted to buy a car and put an advocate sticker on it and drive around. That's all I ever wanted to do. And it's been about 4 years since I passed out of law college. I've saved up enough money to buy the sticker, So,
All right, let's
that's
take a break.
that. All right.
Sticker is right. Sticker with us. We'll come back.
All righty.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
Okay, back here with Naveen Richard, one of the rising stars of the Indian comedy scene. Also a plumber by nature and a man who loves cars, spends more time under a car than over a woman. Of
Indeed.
late he's been complaining.
Indeed.
Women aren't. But Richard Naveen is an actor, stand-up comedian and a screenwriter originally from Bangalore. I want to just read that out to everybody.
Right.
You've been active in the comedy scene for over 4 years. Before that, you were a sex fiend of some sort.
Well, okay. Yeah, sure.
The Google says all this.
Right.
You remember the acclaimed sketch comedy group, Them Boxer Shorts?
I hope some people have heard of it. Yeah.
Believe me, they have. And you've been featured in Comedy Central's The Living Room and Challenge Accepted. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And you also recently worked on 2 websites, Star Boys, sort of porno film, and A Better Life Foundation, a mockumentary based on NGO workers.
That's right, man.
Those guys do a lot of good work.
Yeah.
Both the shows became insanely famous across India, and now, not just the internet, but everywhere, you're a rising star. Young man who has a Contessa. All part of the image, is it?
That's all part of the image, man. You gotta look the part, walk the talk, and do the pot, right?
Do the
what
pot.
they say.
All right.
Yeah.
Talking about pot, so you were telling us about some other old gags of yours.
Potty
which
humor,
are the routines that stay with you over the years? That you just always fall back on because you love them, or they just always work?
Well, there's this classic bit which I named my special after my first special. It's about how growing up in a place like Coimbatore. It's a small town, right? And small towns are famous for being like quaint and sweet,
rustic and laid back.
Just generally boring. Just all the boring stuff,
Yeah.
And it sounds all nice when you read it in a Ruskin-Bond book. You can find the charm in it, but when you actually live there, you realize there's nothing.
Ruskin-Bond is living in another world.
Yeah. And then you come to a place like Bombay and you're like, oh, there's all these cool places to hang out. Because, in Coimbatore, guys my age, like 26-year-old grown men, they still go to ice cream parlors, but not in a cute way with their girlfriends. They go there with each other. Right? They'll work out at the gym and they go to the ice cream parlor to hope to find girls, right? And it's not cute because they'll go up and they'll pull up on their bullets and stuff, right? And they'll be like, hey, yo, what's up, yo? Hey, yo, what's up, badass machas? Hey, yo, come on, bro, let's go hang out. And they'll go inside and be like, uncle, on vanilla ice cream, one strawberry ice cream, and it's just not cute. And they'll come back and they'll be licking, yeah, they'll be licking each other's ice cream and shit, like, and it's just not.
There's no question of girls.
There isn't.
Girls don't eat ice cream in Coimbatore. That's the story of your life.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you know this. Here's a little education. Do you know what we refer to? Like here we call looking at girls checking out.
Right.
Do you know what we call it in Tamil Nadu? You don't know. Okay.
Gede.
No.
What?
It's called sighting.
Sighting?
Yeah, sighting. Like
the tiger. Oh, sighting.
Exactly. And I always wondered why they call this. Nobody else knows this. Over there we call it, let's go sight some girls, okay? And I always wonder why this term was. Then I figured it out, right? Because you go check out stuff that's easy to come by. You're like, let's go check out a phone because you can look.
Right. Sighting is rare. You're right.
Rare,
Spot
exactly.
on.
Like you sight the UFO
tiger,
sighting, tiger sighting because it's so freaking rare.
Charitable Indian, that kind of thing. Fair enough.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Easy.
Yeah.
Wow. So did you have a share of all that? Not being able to find girls, doing the rounds of Coimbatore and.
Coimbatore was rather. I mean, now I know people will be like, "Hey, man, it's a big town. We've all heard of it."
Yeah.
Like you don't know it the way I grew up. It was charming and stuff, but
Do you have a girlfriend in Coimbatore?
No, not in Coimbatore. One here.
But you had an ice cream.
Yes, I did.
But you have one in Bombay, is it?
Bangalore, Bombay. I mean,
stop showing off. All right, we know you moved
it's
from
the
King
same
George
person.
and
It's the same
person. She moved with you. So you have
Yeah.
the same one girlfriend. She's still with you. So the Contessa and the girlfriend, you seem to be a very loyal man.
Yeah.
You
that's
still
right.
love your school, which caned you every day for no reason
I still
whatsoever.
love it, man. Still love it. Yeah.
And you became a comedian, so you're really an odd person.
That's
All right,
right.
let's fast forward to Bombay now. You're with this Evam, is it?
No. I'm only with them boxer shorts. We get managed by OML.
So who's them boxer shorts? Who's in them?
There's me. There's a chap named Mani Prasad.
Right.
A chap named Arvind Anil Kumar. And we're all from the same class. And one guy who's 1 year
Same
senior.
class? Oh, in law?
No, in school. The 4 of us are from the same school. We all got caned together and things like that.
Jesus Christ. It's
Yeah.
like the Beatles but without the music. It's an amazing story. You all got caned together.
We all got caned and
So instead of come together, it's caned together. I'm just looking at all the possibilities here.
That's
and
right, man.
then you started this troupe in school?
Yeah, so the first thing we did was a parody of Macbeth in
Wow.
11th
So
standard.
Blackadder was making its point there. I can see,
But actually back then I think we'd heard of Blackadder because we couldn't watch any TV or anything. We'd watch one movie every
you
weekend.
get caned. So.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever. So then we just did a parody of Macbeth for Teachers' Day, and that was so popular we toured with it to different schools. It was like a mini tour of the Nilgiris. We toured with it to different schools. So like, oh man, we got something funny here. And then
Did you get to spout the famous lines, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his harp on the stage and then is heard no more?
was that from Macbeth?
This is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing is the story of comedians. What are you saying?
Is this from Macbeth?
Of course, but that's the real one.
Oh, I only know
The Scottish fellow.
I know the one about the, alcohol is a provoker of two things, a red nose and a boner or something like that. But then the boner doesn't perform.
This is Chetan Bhagat.
I paraphrase too much.
Our Scottish Shakespeare. Yeah.
Man.
All right, so let's
Yeah.
get back to, so you're doing these parodies and all, they were popular then. Did you used to write them? Or you
Yeah,
write
we wrote them.
all together?
Yeah, we wrote them all together, and And then, and then we went our separate ways for college. I studied law, another chap studied aerospace.
So each one found an ice cream parlor, moved on.
Everywhere, found ice creams in different parts of the world. In Ukraine, one chap went to the UK.
You went to Ukraine?
No, and my friend Mani, he studied aerospace engineering in Ukraine.
Wow, no, that's not funny at all.
And he found too many Malayalis. You know why he left? He said, I don't like it.
Nuclear part of the world, by the way.
Yeah. And he said there's too many Malayalis there, so he left Ukraine.
Oh, fair enough.
And
homeboys back in Ukraine then.
Yeah, and then another chap went to anyway, then we got together after college and we started shooting sketches on zero budget. And then 4 years later...
You're telling me about zero budgets on this podcast?
Oh, yeah.
We have to do 4 in a day. You don't understand.
Shucks, man. Yeah, but once a week.
Very painful.
Yeah.
So you come back together, this is post-Bangalore, and you start working and you start making So what made you big on the internet? What was that first thing that was really
I think for 4 years, we were just like this very niche comedian type
From
channel.
what I can see is something very true to who you are. None of you are pretending to be anybody else,
No.
Your ethnicity is important, your background is important, in the sense that you're proud of who you are in a funny way,
Yeah, I mean, so people gave us a lot of crap, man. The first 4 years, they're like, your videos are too long, your humor is too English and Western. The thing is, we'd make jokes about...
A little more subtle than some of the other internet fellows out there.
I guess so. And then that's the reason our videos never got more than 2,000-3,000 views.
Because Indians are dumb. Let's just spit it out.
You get
our
to say
people
it.
can
I
be
don't
stupid.
get to.
Not just our people, the entire subcontinent.
Yeah.
Everybody below China.
Yeah. And see,
just in case they take over, we got to say
Just in case, you got to say all of it, shit on everybody just
Otherwise,
in case.
I never said it. Varun Thakur, you idiot, don't talk like that. Yeah.
Oh man, but see, the thing is, people say we're rising star now. We've been there we were there before most people came on the internet. Yeah, I mean on YouTube. Sorry, we're not that old. But and then it's only now that
before the internet, that would be too much.
It's a little too much. Not that old, just 26.
Yeah.
But luckily, so we were like, all the other comedians knew us and they loved our stuff, I think. So then they recommended us to OML, and then OML also trusted us enough to put enough money into our web series. And finally, we were writing the long stuff that we wanted to write, and then people were putting money into it. But for 4 years, we just made no money, sitting in Bangalore, starving and not paying rent. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
And right now, this mockumentary is done very well, based on NGO workers.
Yeah, it's based on NGO workers. It's
give us a little sight into that. I'm sure people sighting into that,
yeah.
And I'm sure people will then want to dig it up and look at it properly, which will
sure,
not hurt anybody.
Well, I mean, I guess one way to say it. I mean, if you guys like The Office and if you like Parks and Recreation,
I like Parks and Recreation.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is, I grew up watching The Office and I loved it so much.
The English version, American version.
The American one.
Okay.
You like the English one? I'm
guessing.
I
prefer the English one.
Okay.
Oh, you racist man, you.
Yeah,
of course we
will.
Right.
Yeah. Either way.
You're a Rowan Atkinson fan. I thought you'd go this side of the
I know,
Atlantic.
but I don't know, man. I love Steve Carell way too much.
Yeah.
And the whole thing
Ricky
was...
Gervais is really that guy.
I know.
He's that disconnected human being. He's just that guy.
A little bit of assholeness comes naturally to him.
I think so. If you see him emceeing and all that, it just seems there.
It's true, but
he's like a bitch, He can't help it.
Exactly. No, but Steve Carell is a more he's also oblivious. Both of them are quite naive.
I think he's more going towards a Jacques Clouseau sort of mixed character who's muddled and all that. He's a more humane and nicer version.
Correct.
Ricky Gervais is the more savage and mean one. That's why I like him.
Yeah.
I would just say he's worse.
It's true. But they made it so dull.
Which one?
Like the British one. And I generally I love Fry and Laurie and stuff, but I don't know why I like the American one for some reason. That's the one thing where I differ in American and British. And anyway, so then I just wanted to make like a show which... in India, like my whole thing growing up was let's make a show in India in English that people don't just say, hey, this is good for Indian standards. I'm like, that's the worst thing people can say about anything that you make. Like, it's good for Indian standards. I'm like, just make a show that's just good, okay, period. And I grew up thinking one day I'll be in The Office. Then they shut down The Office. And I'm like, screw this, we're going to have to make it ourselves.
There was an Indian girl in The Office.
Yeah, there was.
Serious role, proper role.
Yeah, and she wrote and directed some stuff as well. So then I'm like, oh, let's make a show that's just good, period. And then we wrote it for like 8 months.
8 months to write this mockumentary?
It was supposed to be 2 months, but then the project kept getting extended. So then...
Were you caned in between? What happened?
We just took up... Like, there was other things. We weren't just writing this.
Right.
But it let it sink in and then the stuff...
So quick insight into NGO workers and I suppose the hypocrisy and fraudulent lifestyles. What?
Well, actually, it's about 5... we pitched it as 5 bumbling NGO workers with an intention to do good. And then their efforts are thwarted. And we used all sorts of big words like that. But basically, it's about like 4 like well-meaning guys.
So 5 became 4.
sorry, 5 well-meaning guys trying to do good stuff, but like in India, the reality is that society is always suspicious of NGOs. They're like, hey, why should the CEO of an NGO get paid $50,000, man? I mean, isn't that a waste of money? But like, we don't understand that we're paying the CEO of Coca-Cola like crores for just putting sugar in water and making us like diabetic, but we can't pay a guy who's doing good work like good money. So that kind of hypocrisy we wanted to address in this, But we don't want to
pro NGO. I thought it was like taking down the NGOs from inside.
No.
We will just have a cushy job and do nothing. Yeah, we'll save the tiger, but tomorrow.
No. Well, these guys genuinely want to do it, but they keep screwing it up for themselves. But their intentions are like pure and all of that.
And it's webisodes or one-off?
Yeah, these are 5 episodes that's on our channel, and then we put it up on AIB as well. So you can check it out on either channel. It's called Better Life Foundation.
And there'll be more. Yeah, it's called
Better Life Foundation.
And there'll be more webisodes as well.
We're writing the second season. We're writing another 5 episodes of that show.
Okay, well, how much you pay actors?
Not enough.
Awkward pause. Give me a ballpark figure.
Are we allowed to say this though?
Of course you can.
Depends. See, I'll tell you what though. Some actors didn't get paid. The rich actors who are on,
you're
like
freaking
Kanan,
talking about an NGO and you're running an NGO yourself. Nobody's getting paid on the show.
No,
what
some people, the rich ones who don't need to get paid, we don't pay. Like Kanan Gill, okay, he's on the project. It's not going to make any difference. The amount we were going to pay him, he's like, it doesn't matter. He said, just give me a hotel room on the island. I'll stay here on
Which
Mud
island?
On Mud Island.
Oh.
So he didn't have to travel. I'm like, okay, good deal. We'll give you food, then stay. You act in our show. Some of the lesser known actors who could use the pay, we paid them a certain fee.
Like 2,000, 5,000, 10,000?
Oh, no, come on. We're not that cheap.
20,000?
Yeah, a little more than that.
25,000?
A little bit more than that.
30,000 I'll come for
Probably, yeah.
every day.
We'd love for you to come, man.
30,000, I'm sold.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
You got to bring my own cane. I'm going to go cut some in the back here as soon as I can.
Yeah,
all right, Naveen, tell us what's happening in the future. What are the next few projects lined up?
We're doing another season of this show. I'll be doing my stand-up special right after that.
This is alone? When you do the stand-up, it doesn't include the other boys?
No, stand-up is alone.
Then boxers aren't with you?
No, stand-up is alone.
Do they all have their own stand-up?
No, they're more like filmmakers. I think the whole thing that makes a group
You're the only stand-up
work.
guy.
Yeah.
They're more the collective when it comes to making these webisodes and films and TV and all.
Yeah, man. I mean, I know that they eventually is going to go on to make probably not comedy. They will write like really good English.
Obviously,
films.
the aeronautical engineer from Ukraine, in the middle of a Crimean war on one side, and Russia trying to overtake Ukraine, and they're sitting on a stockpile of weapons, nuclear weapons. It's not funny. That guy's gone to hell.
That's right.
Then what does he meet? Malayali.
There's a lot of darkness in
Malayali
it.
here, Malayali there, Malayali here, Malayali there, and he can't take it anymore. He comes back.
All that pain, he's got to channel it some way, and
there you go.
They're gonna make we're gonna make like a lot of films and stuff in the future as well, man.
Okay, before we go to the AMAs, one quick question about your background. So you're half Tamil, half Malayali. So is that a funny on its own? Because you've got these two powers fighting battles inside.
Kind of. I mean, the thing is, when I'm down south, it's very relate. I do those kind of jokes. People relate. I come up here,
they don't understand the difference,
and I speak like 2 different languages, and it all sounds the same to them. So it doesn't matter.
It's ridiculous.
I guess I have the only joke. I try not to make very regional jokes. I want to make jokes that everybody gets. But the one joke I do have is about how. If you go to functions in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, the biggest difference is the alcohol. In Kerala, you have to have alcohol. They drink a lot more. No matter what whether it's a baby's baptism ceremony or an old man's funeral, you have to have alcohol at the end. Or if it's a housewarming ceremony, you have to have alcohol. It doesn't matter. Right? It has to be an open bar. And the thing is, in Tamil Nadu, anyone's thinking of having an open bar. Everyone will be like, oh no, but what will the relatives think of us? Oh no, they'll judge us. But in Kerala, that's all the relatives think about. So there's an open bar,
So what's separating two big states here is alcohol. Naveen Richard, you made it very simple for all of us.
There you go.
Separate Haryana and Punjab.
Alcohol.
Bihar and Jharkhand.
Just booze, man.
Maharashtra and Gujarat.
Just throw a little rum in there.
All right, Naveen, time for the AMAs. May's going to come in and chat with us.
All right.
Could be painful, I warn you.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground. But there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app. If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
And here AMA is discussing alcohol with May. May, is it true? I learned so much about Kerala.
You
Apparently,
do.
functions in Kerala, you have to have alcohol by law.
By law.
Yeah, you have to have what?
Yeah, if it's a housewarming ceremony, people get drunk and they'll be like, "Great wash basin, bro, I love it." You know, you can get extra compliments when you get them drunk
That is true.
on a chandelier
But
and
there's
stuff.
like alcohol all the time. At like 12 or 1, every uncle in the whole of Kerala is like little whiskey, little water, and it is like sorted.
It's beautiful.
It's great. You know what's so funny? When I was 8 years old, I was fascinated that my granddad used to have this like whiskey. I didn't know what it was. I was like 8, and so I was like, I also want to have. And my grandfather was like, "No, you can't." And I'm like, "Why?"
Wait till you're 9.
No, he's like, he was like, "No, this is holy water.
Oh.
You cannot have it."
Your
That's what he
grandfather
said.
lied to you from that age when you were just an 8-year-old innocent. I've never lied to my daughter.
Really?
If she asks me awkward questions, I just say, "Look, it's porn, but don't look at it." You know, so I'm just straight up. I've been the most straight up father. Of course, it's not worked.
Yeah.
My son turned off cricket and now he only follows Liverpool, and he won't let me watch with him.
Oh,
Why do you
very
watch with them? Why?
Because he's superstitious, and if I sit on that chair, it's a long story.
All of that.
Yeah, now they want 4 in a row, so now I can't come in the room. Yeah.
So you can't sit on the chair next to
I
him.
can't do anything. As they keep winning, I can't do anything. If they lose, I have a chance.
Oh,
They suddenly won 4 in a row. It's very strange. You don't understand. Football is worse than cricket. Oh, you
I
go.
don't follow any
Okay.
of it. Oh.
Satyabrata said, "I wanted to ask Cyrus if he's seriously learning law. Will he fight against the new permission to kill monkeys and boar, or does he love only dogs?"
No. I will fight for all the animals. How dare you say that? Including a couple of 2-legged ones who live in my lane. But I don't even know they were trying to kill. I know they tried to. They did this thing with the Neel guys.
Yeah.
And Nitin Gadkari and gang, because the farmers were objecting Neel guys killing their crops, and they culled a lot of them.
Yeah.
You know, but
I
they
think
just
it was
can't do
that.
that. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Shucks, man.
You just come into government, that's the only thing you can think of. I mean, just killed. That's how we kill. I mean, you know, we had cheetahs till about 100 years ago, and we have none left.
There's
It's
no.
very-
Not
No,
a single one.
no.
Indian cheetah is gone. I mean, just think about that. And there were thousands and thousands. Lovely animal, more dog than cat. Not that I've got anything in cats, because cat, pussy, you make the connection.
Yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
more dog than cat.
You love
Very
pussy.
sad.
No,
No, what's the name of the gentleman or lady?
Satyabrata.
Satyabrata, all I can tell you is that please, we will help you with your fight for monkeys. I love monkeys.
Yeah.
By the way, when I was in when I was in Kenya, if you're listening, in Tanzania, we stayed in a place in Kenya where there were monkeys on the property, as in mandrills, baboons, and they come very close because they're human friendly. We warn, don't feed them because then they can become even more friendly. So my friend Kunal, who was staying in one of
Vijayakar.
the Vijayakar, yes, he's more than friends. So Aisha, my wife or ex-wife, depending on what time of the day, she and me in one room,
Yeah.
and Mikhail, Kunal, and Maya, and the other room, the kids, so to speak. And Kunal would be wearing his towel and smoking his cigarette at the balcony because you're not supposed to smoke in the room and all that. So he'd open the window and
Kunal
smoke.
comes on your family trips?
All family trips. The kids don't come sometimes.
Right.
So he's standing there on the balcony smoking, and then we hear this scream. So what happened is the baboon entered the balcony, wanted the cigarette.
Wow, really?
Oh my God.
Apparently his towel came off. And the baboon left with the towel and the cigarette.
Wow.
And then no one could tell who was the baboon anymore because, he was...
Can I tell you something?
Quite
So
the
there
ass.
was this, I had seen this, Stephen Fry does QI, right? It's quite interesting. So on that, there was this discussion about the fact that certain kinds of, I don't know if it's baboon or which monkey, but they were doing this thing of trying to understand currency. So they'd give them these like silver discs or whatever, and like sort of
And they
every
would
time.
differentiate.
So these discs, right, would mean, so if the monkey gave you the disc, you'd give it food to understand that this is an exchange, right? So then, this, by the way, changed. So every time, for example, they'd go, so it came to a point where they'd give the silver disc to a female monkey to have sex. So the female monkey would use it to get food. So this interaction happened.
Who would have sex with the monkey? The guy?
No, the male monkey.
Monkey,
The
monkey.
would
The
give
male
the-
monkey with the female monkey.
Yeah, so gives this silver coin. So eventually it came to a point where this was like the standard transaction they were doing. And then the male monkeys just took it upon themselves, gave the female monkey the silver coin, be like, girl, go get yourself some food. And be like, we get our little, like, I was like, wow.
So we corrupted monkey society. Now they pay for sex because of us.
Yeah. Oh,
This is
man,
all-
we can't
all
just
Stephen
keep the
Fry.
prostitution
Leave
to
them alone,
ourselves.
man. Really, haven't we destroyed enough
It's not his,
foundations here?
he's not he did not. It's
He
not
did
his-
it. It's all his fault.
It's all his fault.
man.
Okay, so
That great big ape. I'm a huge fan. BBC's bringing him down in Feb
Who you talking
2017.
about?
Are you serious?
Stephen Fry.
Really?
The baboons,
I'm
I
so
don't know.
excited. I love
That's what
him.
for?
I don't know, but they're bringing him down because I want to go and meet him.
Oh, yes,
So
please.
if I get a leg in, I'll try and
Yes,
tell
please.
you
You take
guys.
us with you to
please.
Malayalis?
Of course.
Oh, you're a half.
Please.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is the other half?
Tamil.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all.
Of course.
If the private conversation's over, can I also talk now?
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Hey, wait, there's one more question. I've heard all your episodes, and I have observed that you make frequent references to Miss Falguni Pathak. Here is my question. What's your take on Miss Falguni Pathak? What's the story behind this Garba sensation?
Well, a lot of respect, brother. I mean, she's doing so well.
She is.
Survived the business for 15 years?
Right.
And still number one. I mean, Virat Kohli will struggle to do that. Sachin struggled to do that.
There's a massive billboard of her face, like in the back of Lokhandwala.
Yeah,
so I see her.
without dandiya sticks, which is normally some thing you should do, billboard with Falguni. But and look at the earnings only for 3 months, unlike say politics where you can earn 12 months a year.
Yeah.
So she's chosen a profession where she basically makes money in this festive season, which starts with this
then
Navratri and
sorted
goes
out
up to
for
about
about
December,
3
Jan.
years.
So she's like a comedian without jokes, which is a lot of
true.
us. Yeah. And she's a little bit hefty, but that's fine. That's her thing.
You're a little hefty.
I'm beautiful.
He's
I'm
stout.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
You're stout.
Yeah. In
Is that what
fact,
they call it now?
it was Naveen's dad who said I should wear a bra the first time.
Your dad?
Yeah, and now he sent.
My dad, he calls him every week and be like, hey, you want some bras,
Yeah,
Cyrus? And Cyrus like, no, not this week. I got enough already.
Yeah.
What's your cup size?
No, I wear it lower though. Don't ask.
Where do your cups go?
DD. Potipod DD.
What?
Next question.
I got one last one, which is, what have you always wanted in life, and did you get it?
I want to be taller.
Really?
My dad's 6 foot and all. I thought, but I never got taller.
Ungrateful, man. What do you know?
I don't know. I'm 5'8" if I really stand straight and don't slouch.
Sheesh.
That's it.
How tall are
I'm
you,
a short
Naveen?
guy.
I don't know. I only know in centimeters.
When you lie down, how much are you?
Centimeters.
Okay. You're 64
I'm
centimeters.
164 centimeters. I think that's
I'm 173
5.
centimeters. Shorter than me. I didn't even notice that.
Hey, come on, man. I think you'd be, even if you lie down sideways, your goddamn shoulders would be taller than me. You're big. You big ape.
Sweet thing to say. Here's a coin.
This is how Mallus flirt. We basically insult you.
Yeah.
But very, clandestinely.
Hey, goddamn big ape. I love you, man.
Yeah. I love that punch. It's so hairy, it's gorgeous.
Only in the old days when you insult the generations that were before. Didn't that used to happen?
Are you making fun of our age now? I don't even know. Where's this going, Cyrus? What happened to you?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It's been a long day.
Forget about it.
Naveen, thank you so much for coming here. Before we both fall asleep, I think we should end a good thing. May, thank you
Are
so
we
much.
going to kiss each other now?
Now, can you talk in Malayalam for 1 minute and then we'll say bye?
It didn't mean anything. I just blabbered.
It sounded,
Food items?
it sounded hybrid Japanese Korean to me,
A
to
little
be honest.
bit. Yeah, I don't know. My grandmother spent some time in Burma, so maybe.
My
God,
God.
you're racist. They're so different.
I know.
So different.
It could be.
And you make worried about people putting South India together. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm a hypocrite.
Hypocrite.
Yeah.
So people say I'm Madrasi, are like really Madrasi.
Yeah.
I think that's gone.
Technically.
That's
Whatever.
gone.
Yeah. It's gone.
Nobody
Pretty
says
much.
that.
It is not
In Delhi
done.
they do. In Delhi they do.
Okay, the other Naveen's putting his hand up saying we should
All right,
stop.
all right,
Oh,
cool.
he's doing a Sikh Heil, which is
have to
not
do
Time
Naveen's
flies
in
when
one
you're
room.
having fun. Right now it's running, but yeah.
Okay, both hands
All right.
above the table so we know you're not. And
right.
bye-bye.
See you, man. Bye-bye.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps. Please, we beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called me.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Okay, if you want to know what's happening in the city and your parents are too old to guide you, look no further. The podcast will tell you about culture, happening scenes, dates, events, and much more. Podcast. Keep you clued in. Check out new episodes on our IVM podcast apps. Happy listening, mother and fathers.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया एक्सक्यूज मी
बोलिए मैडम
मेन्यू में क्या है
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है पॉडकास्ट है ऑन कोर्स है साइरस है मेयर इन इंडिया रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट एम्पावरिंग सीरीज सेक्स वैक्स है आईवीएम लाइक्स है सिंप्लीफाइड है कीपिंग इट क्वियर है थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फन गराज है आपको क्या चाहिए
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या
रिपीट नहीं करता हम आप जाओ ivmpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप सब आपकी उंगलियों पे